Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We're going to continue on with our Bootstrap Basics theme here. Yesterday we created our pricing page with a simple image carousel. Today let's add some pricing tables. We'll get rid of our team members section that's left over from when we copied the page over, and we'll build our pricing section right here. So let's get started. I'm going to open this page in my Brackets text editor. If you've not got a text editor, Brackets is absolutely free. You can download it from a link below this video, and it's got some great features. If you do have a text editor though, you can follow along just fine with any text editor. So we've got our pricing.html page open here, which is here in our root folder where we created our initial site files, index, about, price, HTML, and custom CSS, and our image folder. So if we go down, here's our team section. It's an ID. I'm actually going to change that. I'm just going to delete everything that we've got here, which is our, in fact, let's just delete the whole thing. Let's take the whole section and get rid of it and start a new section. Okay, so we're going to start with a section. And I'll give it an ID or a class. I guess I could have given it. I'm going to give it an ID. I might want to scroll to it of price. I think that's unique. Close it out. Then inside, I'm going to want to put a div with a container. Div with a class equals container. That'll box it for us rather than being full width. And I'm also going to put our little bit of CSS code we've been using, which is called gap 100. And that gap 100 will give us 70 pixels space top and bottom. I'll just show you in my custom CSS here. There it is right there, gap 100, which we set to have a padding of top and bottom of 70 pixels and left and right of 0. So that's why we put that gap 100 in there. Okay, now we really want to add a row like we've been doing before, because we want, I'm going to make 3 pricing tables here. So we'll make a div with a class of row, and inside those rows it's what we're gonna, that's where we're gonna put our actual cards. Let's get rid of these gaps here. So let's start. We want 3, so we need a column of mid 4, which will do fine for us. So we've got a div, the class equals column mid 4. There we go. Let's close that one out. So we're going to want 3 of those, but I'm only going to do 1 for the time being until we've got it right. Then I'll copy it over. So let's do our first one. We'll do a new div, and we're going to use what they call cards for that. Class equal card, and that's a Bootstrap 4 class really that gives you a nice little rounded sort of card image template. Minus instead of an equals there. I'll put it in the right code or it won't work. Okay, inside our card we're going to define our card body, so that's a div, and it's got a class of card body. What do we want in our card body? Well, we're going to want a title, so let's do some, we'll give a div, and we'll give it the class of title. And I guess we'll give it sort of H4 text, heading 4 text, so it's not too big but not too small. So let's put H4 and whatever our title wants to be. I guess we'll call this standard. Standard, premium and business packages I think we'll do. Alright, and after our title we're going to want to put a price in, how much this thing costs. So let's do another div with a class of, I guess we'll give it, I don't want to just give it price, I'll say pricing price, so pprice, like pricing table price for the class for that. And then how much do we want to charge? I think we'll use H3, we'll make it fairly big for the price here. Let's charge, say, $399. Why not? And after that, let's put a span in so we can target it with some CSS separately from the actual price itself. Let's say span. And inside that span, we'll say /, I guess, per year. So that's how much it is per year. Then underneath our price, they usually have a sort of list of features that you get with your pricing table. So let's start a new class or new div with a class of pricing table body. I'll just call it pbody. Obviously you can call your classes whatever you want as long as they make sense to you and as long as you can remember them. And inside our body we're going to want some paragraph text that describes the services they're going to get. So let's do that. So it's paragraph text, and what shall we say? We'll say, I don't know, full service. Kind of making this up as I go along. And then under that, let's have a line. We'll use a horizontal rule, which is just basic HTML, which will put a line underneath there. So let's copy these over. So we've got loads of features. See what we got going on there. We might want more, we might want less. So we'll say full service. We'll say 24/7 support. What else can we give them? Solid state drive, unlimited bandwidth. Solid state drive. Automatic backup. Let's do one more. We'll say something like one-click restore or something like that. Okay, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 features that'll probably do us. You can keep adding or subtracting as much as you want. Alright, well, after our little features there, but within our body, I guess we need to put a call to action button so we can get them to order this thing, or we could have that linking to our contact page that we've not actually built yet. So let's put in a link, href, and where do we want it to go? Well, it's going to go to our contact.html that we don't have at the moment, so I'll just put a hashtag in there and we'll turn it into a button. So we'll give it the class equals btn, and we'll say button block, and we'll use the button primary which we've used before, so it'll already have our styling on there, which will be a red button, I believe, from memory. Okay, what do we want our button to say? Let's say buy now. Okay, there's the end of our div. I think that will do our first pricing table. Now we're going to have to style this up because it's not going to look very interesting. But let's go and take a look what we've got at the moment. It's going to be pretty uninteresting because we want to style our section background again. In fact, I'm going to do that first thing. So let's save this, go back to the site and see what we've actually got there. These should disappear, the color will disappear. There we go, and that's what we've got so far. Pretty uninteresting, but we've got the makings of our pricing table. I mean, you can leave it like that if you want to. That's what I was saying about our button primary, because we previously styled our button primary, so we've already got that working. So I need to change the background color. I'm going to use that gradient again. I want to make all this central. I want to have a background color on this thing, and let's style this and just make it a little more interesting. So let's go back to our brackets text editor. First thing I'm going to do, price, I'm going to make this colored background again. So let's go to our custom CSS, and we'll start down at the bottom where we left off last time. We'll give it a title, // Anything within the stars will not be read as code, so it's a great place for titles. So pricing tables. Okay, now our section's called price. So, and it's a class, so we'll say dot price. I'm going to steal a bit of code from up above there. Actually, it wasn't a class, it was actually an ID, which will be hashtag instead of dot. Let's have a look, see. Scroll down, there's it is an ID price. So IDs have hashtag, classes have a dot. So it's an ID, so we put a hashtag in there. Open and close some curlies and put in the code that we want there. And I want it exactly the same as our team section. I guess I could create a new class and just apply that, but I'm going to just steal this gradient code up here. Background image, linear gradient, and then the two colors you want. If you want more colors, just put a comma behind that one and put another color behind it. Okay, so that should now give us a colored background. Let's save that. There we go. We've got our colored background there, which is fine. So let's, first thing I want to do here is put this all so it aligns centrally. And I want to give it, I'm actually going to give it the same gradient background, but I think I'm probably going to make it back to front. So it'll be the opposite way around, purple at the top and blue at the bottom. So let's do that. Let's align everything centrally here. So let's have a look at our code. back to our pricing tables, and here's our card body, and here's our actual card. So this is what we want to give that background, but I also want the text to be centered, so let's put that in first. Text center. So that's going to center all our text there. And because I'm putting a dark background in, or the purple blue background, I want the text to be white or light. So let's say text light. That's fine. And then what we want to do is put our actual background color in. So I'm going to save that, Control S. And in our card class, I'm going to put in that linear gradient, but I'm going to flip it around the other way. So let's go back to our pricing table. Remember, I want to affect the card section. So we'll go to our custom CSS down at the bottom. Drop down a couple. It's a class dot card. Open and close some curly brackets, and I'll put this CSS all down below so you don't need to copy it while I'm doing it here. And you're welcome to use it, manipulate it how you want. So first thing we do, we want this background gradient, but we actually want to flip it round the other way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first one, cut it, Control X, put a comma behind the one that's there, and simply paste it in afterwards instead of before, and we'll remove that first comma there. So that should be the opposite way around of that. And to make it stand out from the background, let's give it a little white border around it of a couple of pixels. Let's make sure and put some semicolons on the end of our lines here, in case we want to add some more code, which in this case we do. So we'll give it a border. Do I want it all the way around? Yes, I want it all the way around. We'll say border 2 pixels would do it. I should think 2 pixels wide. It wants to be solid. And let's make it white. FFF. That's good. Why don't we give it a bit of box shadow like we did with our team section, those little ones there. Let's give it a little bit of box shadow because it will just make it stand out a bit better on that background there. So we'll give it a box shadow. And a pretty standard one I use is 5 pixels. And 5 pixels, it's 5 pixels from the top, 5 pixels from the left. We'll give it a spread of say 10 pixels, so it's blurred a little bit. And a fairly dark color. Let's make it, I don't know, 333. We can always change it. And with hex colors, if you're not sure what it is, you hover over it, it'll show you the color. Yeah, I think I might even want to make it darker than that. Let's make it 222. There we go, that's pretty dark. Alright, so that's card. Let's have a look, see what we've got now. Control S to save. There we go, that's looking a bit more like a card. We've got to centralize that button now. We can do that easy by just giving it margin auto. And that should give it an equal margin each side and push it in the middle. So let's do that on the button there. Go back to our pricing, HTML, and on the button itself, here's the button. Gap there I don't really need. But after button primary, I'm going to put in margin, M for margin, auto. So that should give it an equal margin each side, which should pull it to the middle. Save, Control S. Let's go back to the site and take a look. Refresh. There we go, the button's now in the middle. Fantastic. So what do we want to do next? These, I don't know if you can see, we got these little HRs, these lines right here. I want to make those white. and I'm not sure if I want them all the way through. Let's just use our Chrome Inspector. I'm using Google Chrome here, and if we right click with Google Chrome and hit inspect, it'll bring up the inspector. Let's roll this up so we can see it. Okay, and where's the actual HR? There we are. And as long as you've got the Elements tab selected on one, you'll have HTML, and Styles tab selected on the other, you will have CSS on this side. So let's have a look. I want to make those white. So those are going to be pbody HR. Let's make them white for a start. And to do that, we'll give them a border on the top. Say 1 pix. Make them nice little standout lines. 1 pix solid white. How's that sound? There we go. You see that line's become white now? Well, it's actually added a 1 pix border on top of it. That's great, but I don't want it to be quite as wide as that. Let's try giving it a width of perhaps 100 pix, and because it's centered, it should centralize it. So let's say width. We can always change it if it's too much or too little. 100 pixels. Yeah, I like that. A little shorter line, something like that. So let's copy this bit of code. Control C to copy, and we want to affect pbody HR. So let's go back to our custom CSS. Down to the bottom, and it was .pbody, it's a class of pbody HR, which is the thing we want to affect within there. Open and close some curlies, and let's paste that bit of code that we just copied from the Chrome browser in there. Great. Control S to save. That should have done that. What else do we want to do? I guess we want to make that title stand out a bit more. So let's have a look. Here's our title. H4. Do we want to make it a bit bigger? Let's inspect that. So this will be title H4 we're affecting. Let's make it a bit bigger, say, let's try say 40 pixels. There we go. That's okay. Yeah, makes it stand out. All right, we'll take this down just a little bit so we can see more. All right, and for interest, let's give it a bit of text shadow underneath. And again, we want to make it fairly small. It's just like the box shadow, so we'll have 2 pix by about 5 pix spread. And let's make it black so it really stands out. 0, 0, 0. There we go. I don't know if you can see that or not. That does make that stand out a little bit more up there. So we're going to copy this code again, just like we did before. Control C. And we want to be affecting title H4. So I might give that an extra class. So let's go to our HTML. And let's create a class for this. So where are we? Here's our price. Or here's our title. So it's got title H4. Don't know if I want to. I think I'll put that as ptitle, like pricing title H4. So let's affect that then. Control S to save, back to our custom CSS. Drop down one, and the class we gave it was ptitle, wasn't it? And within that we want to affect the H4. Open and close some curlies. and paste in that bit of code we copied from our browser. Great. Control S, back to the pricing table. Refresh should stay the same. Yep, fantastic. Okay, I guess the next thing we want to do is, this doesn't stand out very much. So let's inspect that or grab it. Here it is. It's our H3. What do we want it to do? I guess we want it to be bigger as well. So we want to make it pretty large. Say font size. Our last one was 40. Let's make this 60. Don't like it, we can always change it. Yeah, it's pretty big. But the per year bit I really want to take down in size, but that's within our span. If you remember, we put a span around it so we can target pprice span and affect it separately, which is what I think I'll do. And we'll make this color white as well. And also let's give it that text shadow that we had on the title just above it. Just text shadow. And I think we used 2 pixels by 2 pixels by 5 pixels black. There we go, that stands out nicely. So let's do that for the price. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the span a lot smaller here. So let's copy those. And we want to affect pprice H3. So let's go back to our custom CSS. Drop down. Dot class pprice. And I think it was H3, wasn't it? H3. Open and close some curlies. Drop down. Paste that bit of code in there. Let's go back. Control S to save. Back to the site. Refresh should stay the same. Yep, great. Now let's just affect this span here. There's the span. I think all I really want to do is just make it a bit smaller. So let's say font size. Let's try something like, I don't know, something fairly small but readable, 14 pixels. There we go, something like that. I think that'll work actually. So let's copy that. Now remember, we're affecting this time pprice span. Let's go back to our custom CSS. Drop down a couple. Dot pprice, and we want to affect the span or anything within that span there. Open and close some curlies. And drop down, and I've got, oh, I'm missing a curly bracket there for some reason. Let's make sure I got that on there. Whenever you see something red with brackets like it was just now, it usually means you're missing a bit of code or you spelt something wrong. Okay, oh, I see, we chopped it off on the end there, so let's make sure we haven't got 2 there, so that's correct now. And in between these two, just close up that space. Let's paste that bit of code we copied from our browser. That's all it was, font size. Save that, back to the site, should stay exactly the same. Okay, we're getting there now. So as you can see, that's gone a lot smaller there. What else do we want to do? I guess we want to put a bit of more padding. I don't know, for the time being I think that's going to do. I might just copy this over now. So we got 3 of them. Yeah, I think that's looking okay. Just get rid of our inspector there. Well, let's copy this over so we've got 3 of them. Let's go to our price.html, and here's our column mid 4, so we want 3 of these. Brackets, you select the opening div, it'll show you the closing one, so you need to select all of that and just copy it twice. Control C to copy, drop down one, Control V to paste, drop down one more, Control V to paste. So we've now got 3 of them here. And let's start changing up. As our first one, standard. Let's take out 2 of these features. Just put in, I don't know, 3 dots, 4 dots, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you don't get those features with the standard. We'll take out 1 on this next one. And we'll say premium perhaps. And next one, business. I guess we better change the prices as well. Let's say $5.99 for the premium, $7.99 for the business. So I haven't got that feature on that one. This one's got all the features. Fantastic. Save that, Control S, and see what we've got here. Refresh. There we go. We got our 3 pricing cards there, which actually on its own is absolutely fine. But let's make one of them stand out by calling it the most popular or something like that. So to make this middle one stand out, let's put something here above the actual title. Let's put a p tag, but I'm going to give it the class of popular so I can target it. And inside, let's say most popular. Okay, and what we're going to want to do is make that stand out somehow. So I might give it a blue background or something. Alright, Control S, let's go back to the site and see what we've got. I put this in the wrong one. I wanted to put it in the middle one. There we go. Let's paste it back up in the middle one. Control S to save. Let's go back to the site and refresh. There we go. That's better. Okay, well let's make that stand out a bit. Most popular. There it is right there. Let's give it a background color so it stands out and probably make it a bit bigger. So let's make the background, I think our blue color, which was 181174, I believe. 181174. Yeah, okay, well that makes it stand out, but definitely want to give it a bit more padding there. So let's say give it, let's try 20 pixels all around so it'll look like a big block. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So let's copy that code. And we gave it the class of popular, so we just need to target that. Back to our CSS. I know this is going on a while, I do apologize, but should be useful for you. Open and close some curlies. Paste the code in there. That's it, just about. Control S. And I think what would be nice was if we could just raise this middle card up a little bit. So let's do that. We'll give it a class of its own, so we're just affecting this one, not these other two. So let's go back to our HTML, and we're about done here. Now here's our middle one. Let's give it a class of middle card, I guess, mcard. And let's pull it up by, say, 50 pixels. So we want to target mcard, Control S, back to the custom CSS, let's drop down one again, class dot mcard. We'll give it a negative margin on the top. So what we'll do, we'll say margin top, and we'll give it a negative value of, say, minus 50 pixels. We'll see if it's going to work. It might not work. Let's have a look, see what that does. Control S. Yeah, let's pull that up fine. You see it's jumped up and it's above there, but I'd still like to see similar margin top and bottom. So I need to add a bit of 50 pixels margin to the top of our little container here. So let's go in to our CSS again and just add a little bit of margin there. Let's see what we've got. I want to add it to the whole thing. So this row, I'll give an extra class of, say, pricing tabs, PR tabs. So now I can just add a bit of padding to the PR tabs, 50 pixels, and that should add a bit to the top there. Control S. Let's go back to our custom CSS down to the bottom. Dot PR tabs. Open and close. Now if I add padding top of 50, that should give us an extra 50 on that pricing table, the whole row, which should make it equalize it out a bit. Say 50 pixels. Okay, save that. Control S, back to the site. Now let's refresh, and we should have a nice 70 pixel gap at the top. There we go. So there you have it. There's the custom pricing tables, our standards. Everything without those two features, premium without that feature, and business is the whole lot. And at the moment our buttons don't go anywhere, but I'd have them either going to a PayPal pay page or to a contact form where you can order the particular service. So there you have it. There's how to add some custom pricing tables to your Bootstrap site. I apologize for this video going on so long, but I hope you've enjoyed it and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, share, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in web development, take a look down below. We got some great free courses down there, as well as some premium courses with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers. So do check it out. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.